Welcome to Smart Parents, Successful Students, the podcast that helps parents like you guide your children toward academic confidence and success. I'm your host, Helen Panos, and I'm here to share expert tips, proven strategies, and inspiring stories that make the journey to school success a little smoother for both you and your student. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Smart Parents, Successful Students podcast. I am your host, Helen Panos, and today we're going to talk about the road to college. And yes, it does start a lot earlier than you might think. Let's say you've had children that have gone through high school and into college, and they've gone through the SAT, ACT, the college essay writing, the application assistance processing, all of it. It's quite an ordeal for parents these days to go through this process. And really, you start a whole lot earlier because you start planning way before 10th grade. So we're going to talk about that. Most parents think college prep starts in 11th grade, but by then you're really already playing catch up. And in this episode, we're going to talk about how starting earlier can reduce pressure and give your child the confidence and the skills that they need to aim very high. And I'm Helen Panos from Dynamis Learning, and we've helped students at every stage, from elementary to early decision acceptance through middle school, all the way up to 10th and 11th and 12th grade. We map out a clear and manageable road to college. So let's start talking about why early prep matters. Admissions are more competitive than ever. I just saw a list of top Georgia schools. They're the ones that are the most difficult to get into and the most popular, let's say. I'm sure you can guess some of those: Georgia Tech, Georgia, the University of Georgia, Emory, and some other smaller colleges that you may not have even thought of or heard of. But it's important to just start doing your homework, parents, early on, really from middle school, I'd say, and definitely by 8th grade. We prefer to say begin by 6th grade, because even the way kids are placed into classes from as early as 6th grade is important and leads into the right steps and the planning that's involved to get to where they want to be in the end, which is 12th grade. So we do academic planning, what's called academic planning, and we do begin that from 6th grade. What we do is we sit down and we have the child complete a survey, then we sit down and talk about what does 7th, 8th, 9th, all the way to 12th grade look like. And we plan that out for them so they can visually see that and have a goal in mind, and they know what they're working toward. So we do academic planning. It's just, again, a survey, and then they meet with us via Zoom to plan that out. I do have a great tutor that does that. Now, early prep equals exploration plus strong habits. Yeah, prepping early and getting your child thinking about college, believe it or not, is just, it's a great thing. I was working with a 5th grader not too long ago. He said he's going to go into hockey. And he told me which university is one of the best universities for that. So I had him look that up. And then he saw what the SAT, ACT scores were that they were looking for and the GPA. And he asked me if that was hard to reach. So at least he had great questions and he was inquisitive about it. And it already had him thinking about it, which is terrific. So exploration and strong habits equals early preparation. Parents, avoid last-minute stress, because it is going to be a stressful time going through all this process of, really, it takes several years to come to the final end of where they graduate and go on to college. So avoiding last-minute stress is good for you as well if you have a great plan ahead of time. And that goes for everything from college essay writing to the application assistance to the SAT, ACT prep, the advanced classes, the dual enrollment or AP classes, whatever they're going to take. So again, very important. So some key milestones by age group. Let's talk about that. First of all, you got elementary. You want to use that time to strengthen the basics and, increase curiosity. I was a gifted lead in a Fulton school system and for middle school, and it's important to enhance the curiosity, which also helps with critical thinking skills. And elementary is a great time to do this. They are talking basics, but you can advance your children even in elementary these days. They have plenty of classes that your children can get into. And even if they don't get into a gifted program, they can advance into the math and language arts classes. So take a look at that. And a lot of times they use test scores like the Georgia Milestones or iReady, or maybe if they're taking a MAP. Schools will look at those things in elementary school. So it's very important that they test well. In middle school, it's all about goal setting, extracurricular activities, and time management, because classes do get pretty difficult. And if they are in these advanced classes, their time management skills really have to improve. They really have to manage their time, keep up with winter tests. When can they study for those things? Because extracurriculars could get in the way of that. So we see it all the time here at Dynamis Learning. It's hard sometimes for them to tutor. They have very limited time in their schedules typically. So this is, again, middle school to high school. Goal setting. The younger kids, you can even do this with elementary, they should set 1 or 2 goals. Now, once they get into middle school, definitely set 3. Those can be 2 academic, 1 personal. The personal could be something about, I want to learn this particular song in band, or it could be related to sports. So goal setting is very important. And it, again, goes back to teaching them habits. And in 9th and 10th grade, let's break up the high school years. 9th and 10th is AP and IB, International Baccalaureate, Advanced Placement. Leadership is important during this time. Career exploration is important during this time, so that they're kind of understanding where they're going and what they might want to do. And I would suggest college planning if they don't know what they want to do and have no idea. But AP is very popular these days. IB is in certain schools, international baccalaureate schools. And leadership, exemplifying leadership in a child is a good thing, because that actually makes their resume look even better. And when they go to apply to the colleges through the applications. 11th and 12th grade. And we're down to the tail end of the 12 years, right? Testing is very important, like SAT, ACT prep, very important. It's important to get prepped, because you can go in and take the test ahead of time yourself, but then you definitely need prep in order to get these strategies of how to not only, it's not about the content, it's more about strategizing how to take a test like this and the amount of time it takes to take it without your brain getting tired. So it's important to take some prep and get these strategies that you would not otherwise know. Go with people that know what they're doing and been doing it, and show a record of how well they've been doing with other kids. So essays are important in 11th and 12th grade. Those would be college essay writing for the colleges and that they're applying to. I have a college essay writing person. She's terrific. She completely understands how to write these papers and help the student write them. She's not going to write it for them. The visitations occur during 11th and 12th grade, and especially 11th grade. Maybe the tail end of 10th grade, you can go over the summer and visit some colleges. Definitely agree that's what you should do. Applications are important, of course. We got to fill out the applications, and there's no way around that. It'd be good to know what schools your child's interested in, because all these applications somehow ask for various different little things here and there. So a lot of times they have to change their the way they do their college essay writing, and maybe the application as well. Now, at Dynamis Learning, we guide families through each stage of this journey, and we're happy to do that. So it never feels overwhelming. That's one thing parents don't need to feel right now. Whether your child's in 6th grade or 12th grade, we can help create a personalized plan that makes every step clear and manageable. We sit down and we take a look at what all you need to do, at what point in the stage you need to do it, and then the plan is there. You can follow it. We can also call us back to help guide you through the rest of it. So we offer academic planning, as I mentioned already, as early as 6th grade to see what is the best academic plan for your child. We discuss the courses from 6th through 12th grade, when may be a good time for your child to take the SAT, ACT. How long would it take to prep for that? How many times should you take the SAT, ACT? So we then end with discussing the college essay planning and the application process. So I'd like to offer you our free SAT, ACT student guide at this time, and the link will be in the show notes. So make sure you click on that and get it. It definitely is a great guide. It shows you what you should be doing 3 months out before the test, maybe a month out, 2-3 weeks before, a day before, that morning of. So I've really worked on that. I love that particular gift. It's free, so make sure you click on it and get it. Now let's talk about skills beyond GPA, because a lot of people talk about the GPA. But one important thing that we also do here at Dynamis is offer executive functioning coaching. Some people don't know what that means and what it is, in particular for kids this age group. It's about task initiation. It's about organization and planning, especially organization and planning when it comes to college and beyond, right? Or getting prepped for college. Because there is a lot of organizing and there is a lot of planning. And it'd be great to involve your child in that process so they're learning as well. So the organization is all about what we just discussed, the early prep to the key milestones of what your student is taking, AP or IB. And then the testing, the essays, when should those be done? When should we go on visits to the colleges? When are the applications for the FAFSA due? There's just a lot of planning, to be honest with you. And you got to be pretty organized. These are executive functioning skills. So we do have a coach that helps kids with that if need be. Emotional resilience is important, because how else would you be able to score so high and get a very high GPA if your resilience isn't there? So what we mean by that is, how can you handle the amount of workload, the amount of energy it takes to do all this? And you got to be able to have really good bounce back ability. So if when you're, a college says no, how would your child take that? Are they able to handle that? So that's also emotional regulation. And that's part of executive functioning too. And being able to deal with that, the no's and the yeses. And networking is a great thing for recommendations, because you have to have recommendations in these college applications. And, if somebody helped your child along the way and they want to give credit, this is a good time to do that, is in the application. Networking, again, for recommendations is a good idea. And think about that way in advance. Now, the parent's role in all of this. Encourage exploration over pressure. We don't want to pressure children and have them start feeling anxious and get anxiety. It's more about exploring to see what they like, what they don't like, what do they want to apply to, what colleges, what might be their degree. So it's very important to encourage that exploration. Build independence gradually. We can't assume that kids know exactly what to do, right? Every kid is not the same. Let's try not to measure them against one another or their friends. So build independence gradually, like in a slow pacing. I think that's the best way to do it. And then that helps them be and feel more confident and successful. So touching on deadlines, parents probably need to keep an eye on that. You can't really rely on a child or a teen to really keep up with all these dates. You know your child best. If they can, that's terrific. But also parents should keep up with it as well. So the earlier you start, in closing, the more confident and prepared your child will be when college decisions roll around. If you're ready to create a step-by-step path for your student success, we at Dynamis can walk you through that part of that stage. You can reach out anytime for a free consultation. And don't forget to subscribe to to the YouTube channel or Spotify or wherever you're listening to this podcast so that you never miss a new episode. We have great guests. We talk a lot about tips, strategies, and other things that kids need. So I wanted to bring all of this together because it really starts a lot earlier than you think. Like, that's how I started this podcast. It really does start a lot earlier than you think, not 11th grade. So be aware of that, parents, because the sooner you get started, the better. And it'll make, again, your life a little easier and not as stressful. And then that's not, then felt by the child. All righty, guys. I hope you enjoy this show and this episode, and we'll be back again next week with a different one. All right. Bye for now. Thanks for tuning in to Smart Parents Successful Students podcast. If you found today's episode insightful, be sure to subscribe to the podcast and check out our YouTube channel for even more tips to help your student thrive. Until next time, keep guiding your children towards success.